Good morning and welcome to Jen's Awesome Show. I am here with Olga from Wombat. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me, John.
Absolutely, this is a blast. So, tell me a little bit about you. I met with Adrian last week and I know a little bit about Wombat. So, who are you with Wombat?
Okay, well, in terms of the impact and contribution, I don't think I can hold the candle to Adrian, but my role is basically focused around all things content and communications, meaning whenever you see some announcements or some videos on YouTube or stream on Twitch, you will most likely see this face or that name. Sorry, that's my mic. Um, that's basically what I do, right? We have a lot of things that are great and fun about the products themselves, about Dungeon Master, about Wombat, about Womplay, and my goal is to make sure that there is even more fun outside of the products themselves.
Awesome. That sounds like fun.
It
So,
is.
do you ever do streaming? Do you do any one play let's play streams, or is that even a thing that can really be done with the games that are out there?
Well, obviously, I mean, nothing. Sky's the limit here. Um, we are not doing one play streams specifically because we're trying to keep things a bit more general, more kind of ecosystem related and whatnot. But we are doing the kind of play to earn smash or pass on Fridays that's dedicated to blockchain, like NFT games specifically, and hopefully I will go for Uplift there one day.
I think that would be a ton of fun.
That would
Um,
be amazing, yeah.
yeah, we'll have to get you in the world here, and it's a bit of a process, but it's pretty good. Um, oh, somebody wants me to turn on subtitles. I don't know if I actually know how to do that. I think you have to do it on your side with the YouTube. I'll figure out how to do it for the replay, though, for sure. I'll look into that and make sure that's on. I think I have that here. So I guess then the next sort of question, um, what is up and coming for you with Wombat? What's the next big thing that you're getting excited about?
Oh, well, it's very difficult not to get excited about our IDO, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're pulling kind of a similar move to you guys, expanding our borders. You're going to Ethereum, right? And we are dubbing our toes into the Polygon space with the token launch. The reason for that is simple, and because I can already foresee all of the comments like, "You're an EOS and Wax, where are you going for Polygon traders?" It's just very difficult to provide substantial liquidity on EOS and Wax at this point, even though it saddens me to say that right now. And we wanted to have something that would provide like a more or less user-friendly experience, right? But on the other hand, would give people tangible liquidity from like right off the bat. And yeah, this is the next big thing for us. We're actually in the middle of it, right? We announced the ideal just last week, and
Mm-hmm.
today we opened the allow list for it. And yeah, I'm feeling a bit jittery with excitement, you know.
That's absolutely delightful. So once I'm allowed to go get myself some tokens, is there a method you'd recommend for doing that, or should I just like sit tight and listen and wait for updates? And
Well, it's hard to say, right? Because we're doing that in Polka Starter, and of course, they also have a say in how we select um, the final list of people for this. What I would say is, I would recommend to definitely engage with ours and the Polka Starter ecosystems a little bit more, get to know both us and them, and if you feel right at home and if you show it, then I would say you might have better chances than everybody else.
Good to know. All right. Well, that's obviously on my list of things to do here. And so Wombat is hanging out in Etheria right now in the Uplift.
Yeah.
Do you have any ideas for what you want to do with the Wombat Embassy?
The Wombat Embassy. I feel like with this sort of a long-standing partnership, long-standing friendship between Uplift and Wombat, I personally would love to see it as a sort of a commemorative shrine to everything that we've achieved together. That said, we also want to have, like, we want our community to have a creative outlet of sorts within the Wombat Embassy. So I will definitely reserve a couple of rooms for our folks, the Wombat fam, to roam around, maybe express themselves by doing some art, maybe posting links to their favorite NFT games, or even have like a sailboard in there, right? Sky's the limit, because that's a very kind of flexible um, space in Minecraft. We have all kinds of ideas about this, really, but I would definitely love to do something like that. Adrian, maybe, I don't know, maybe he would want to have a poker table in there somewhere.
That would make sense, yeah.
But yeah, generally, because yeah, we obviously all have immense respect for Corey, Jimmy, you, and everyone in the Uplift team, and we want this not only to be like a Wombat space, right? But we would definitely want to see something that would say like, "Hey, we're here to stick around," and that's what both of us have done so far to kind of prove this point.
I like that. I'm just
If
getting
our
my
friendship
I like the friendship. I really do.
has
I'm talking with Adrian, and I'm sure you too. I've had a lot of good brainstorming ideas come out, and I
oh,
appreciate that immensely.
he's definitely an idea person, yeah. A
Yeah.
visionary.
Yes. Yeah, and lots of ideas that could make things more amazing than they already are, and they're already pretty amazing, to be honest. So yeah. I just want to take a look here at where you're at in Etheria and just
Mm-hmm.
kind of show everybody what it looks like. It's going to cooperate with me here. Get that in. So when you come into Etheria, you start here at the spawn, and there's a kitty to greet you. I
Aw, I love
Yeah,
kitties.
a couple of kitties, and then you can see a few things here. I head straight from spawn and head into the unknown, into the wilderness here. There are a couple of things that show up. One would be the Meta Art Club over here. They have the absolute most amazing art in their gallery.
Oh, I can
I
already see that.
I cannot love them enough. It was an absolute delightful fun time hanging all the art, and it goes all the way up. Like there's no end to it. Well, there is an end to it, I guess, but there's not much of an end. So they have a bunch of artists, and if I jump out here, now I'm disoriented, of course, and take a look around, there's, you know, the moon, the sun. I've got
Wonderful
over
landscape.
here, if I come down to the lake, I have a wombat spot.
Sweet.
Yeah. So right over the water. So
Right on
that
the lake.
Yeah, so that changes things a little. And I did look at the map, and I'm pretty sure the plot was like all lake. So
All right,
that's
well, that's not the usual wombat habitat, but hey, we can make
that's
an
what
awesome floating island.
that's what I was wondering. I've never well, I don't think I actually saw wombats when I was in Australia, but I certainly didn't think they lived in the swamp or the water or the lake.
We're going to be
Um,
very special wombats.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wombats are adaptable, I'm sure. More so than koalas, anyway.
Oh
But
yes, well, koalas really took the short stick when it comes to, yeah, they're not the brightest tools in the shed.
no, that's a very polite way of putting it. Yeah, everything I've read about wombats suggests that they're a little bit better at that. So, yeah, so here in the lake and right next to the Meta Art Club, and we've got DeFi Lunch over here building something. I am not sure what they're building, but it's going to be interesting. Something to do
Okay,
with a
that.
project called Kilroy. So,
Oh, that's all right. All
yeah,
right.
so as usual, I've got about 10,000 questions for them and haven't asked them yet. So we'll see what they're building. We've got a spot over here for looks like IBM, so that's exciting.
Oh, yes, definitely. And I mean,
Hmm.
they've got a pretty nice view from there,
They really do,
I would wager,
overlooking all
right?
things. Yep. And if I come back on this side, I will see a few things over here. Easy 365, which I believe is a project doing crypto onboarding.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got some Ape Swap over here. I recognize them.
Oh, it's so cute. It almost looks like George.
It
The
does.
monkey.
It does. Very friendly. Very, very friendly. And then up here on the hill, I have NFT
The movie.
the movie theater
Sweet.
here. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, that's going to be a party. And Masters of the Bitcoin, as always, put this one up practically overnight, like they
Oh,
do.
okay, okay.
Yeah, they're
That's how they
they're
roll.
yeah, they're a little bit more enthusiastic than the average. They stuck up an NFT gallery, so just as an example of the things you can do,
Oh,
um,
wow.
yeah, you can put up all the NFTs, and
Damn.
yeah, and then stick up, say, a QR code. I'm pretty sure I haven't checked in a while, but I'm pretty sure this one goes to their drop page.
Mm,
So, and
nice.
yeah, and we check all the QR codes to make sure that they're decent. So it's not, you won't be surprised with something malicious. We do it all
Yeah,
ourselves. So
yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Well,
and
that's sadly
then
the price that we gotta pay for, trusting people. Gotta
it
double check everything.
it really is, really is. So
But then,
tell me then a little bit about your journey into crypto. I'm guessing that you didn't just wake up one morning and decide that you were going to be in crypto.
oh no, no. If anything, I didn't really decide things on the spur of a moment. I am a journalist by trade and by education, right? And basically, I did what I believe that was Terry Pratchett who said that he basically felt that he wasn't talented enough for anything else, so he decided to become a journalist. That was pretty much it for me as well. But yeah, I started my professional career in games journalism. Actually, some point I even for the gamer folks out there, I worked at the Russian IGN branch. That's one of the biggest media sort of franchises covering video games and entertainment. And at a certain point, when I decided to kind of expand my horizons, I tried to do my own thing that didn't work out really, and then I moved on to blockchain. I've actually been sort of reading up and paying attention to this space since 5 years back. Um,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, mm, not even before that, I think. But yeah, I never really professionally engaged myself with it until the opportunity presented itself, and I got contacted by Coin Market News. They're closed now, but they're basically focused on news coverage of the blockchain industry. I started working with them. Then I started doing more like opinion pieces, stuff that actually makes you dig up the information, do your research, etc., etc., etc. And that was it, really. I was happy working with them, but eventually I decided to find something, here in Berlin, and this is how Spielworks came around. So I did what many, many games journalists dream of and moved to the industry from the coverage of the industry.
Nice. That's fantastic. So tell me a bit more about Spielworks.
Well, I mean, from the kind of the team point of view, I like to say that we're like a bunch of 12-year-olds because we really are overgrown children doing what we want. And apparently, we are also lucky to call it our job, right? But in all the like jokes aside, Spielwork started as a very serious enterprise, right? We first were tech dev, doing software development on demand, so to say. Then there was Chainwise, that, and we did ICO consulting actually back in the day when that was the thing 4 years back. And eventually, we started looking for something that we thought would drive adoption, would drive blockchain advancement further in general, technologically, and in terms of spread. And we actually figured that games would be it. That was a bit premature for 2018 because really not a lot of play to earn projects were around, let alone play to earn projects on EOS. Um, we still decided to bet on it. Back then, it didn't work out as spectacularly as we imagined, but right now, it's a wonder world. There are so many other projects that we are simply in awe with whenever we talk to these people. And of course, for us as a team, every single milestone we reach, every single, peak that we overcome, that we conquer, um, that's always a delight. And we love what we do, and we pride ourselves in what we do.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Really,
Yeah, it
really.
is. It's quite a journey from like software development stuff and consulting
Yeah,
to this, but I think for at least for a lot of us in the company, gaming has been part of our lives. It just speaks to us on a completely different level. Like, it's not software development, it's not helping tokens sell out and whatever. It's this exact thing. And I think Adrian, he must have told you how he like programmed his very primitive merchant game at the age of 7 already.
that's impressive. I don't think we actually got to that part of the conversation.
Well, yeah. So he actually always wanted to make games, right? And he started with those like very, basic ASCII mini games, like the merchant one, right? And eventually he went into like completely different field, right? He's a mathematician, but it all came back to games, to this for him. And I feel like a lot of us in Spielworks share a similar story.
That's pretty neat.
Hmm. It
So,
also helps a lot that since we all pretty much love gaming, company events and spending time together is never really a question because we have uh, all things imaginable really in the office to keep us entertained.
that must be a lot of fun.
It is.
I've had those experiences here at the Uplift, and it's been really, really nice. meetings are not dreadful or dull by any stretch.
Oh yes, I think that's the most important thing when all of the working processes they just click on the personal level. It's a
Definitely.
special kind of magic.
It is. It absolutely is. So, if you were going to say something to, let's say, yourself as a child about how to get into quite possibly the most fun industry in the whole wide world, what would your advice be for a kid who's looking at us? I don't know, I'm thinking of my kids in particular. They're very
Hmm.
envious that I get to do fun things all day. What would you tell them?
I would tell them that if you, because it's very important to kind of talk to yourself about this and to really know that this is your thing, right? It may be very cool to uh, play games and enjoy them as a gamer, but what I feel is that not a lot of people are ready to kind of the pressure and the obstacles that come down with it. Obviously, this is the most fun industry to work in, but one should be ready to get challenged a lot. Um, one should get ready to having to, how to put it, give it their all, so that in the end things do not just work out. They are brilliant because this is the only way you stand out in this industry. So just if you know 100% that this is what you want to do, um, never give up, never allow anyone to drive you off this path. Just push and push and push, and in the end your passion, your resilience, your shining bright light, all of this will pay off, and you will end up there. You will. Just gotta be like a very strong minded and strong willed individual.
I would tend to agree with that. Things tend to move very quickly, and you have to be able to just jump in. If you hesitate
Exactly.
and lose that strength of getting in there, the opportunity is gone before you know it.
Yes, particularly in the Web3 gaming, I feel like obviously the gaming space itself has been growing a lot, right? We have nearly half of the population consider themselves gamers in strong or casual form, so to say. But no single genre, no single platform has seen such a rapid development as NFT games,
Yeah.
and you really got to be like flexible and adaptable to thrive in this industry for sure.
Yes. So if I'm thinking about NFT games here, um,
Mhm.
what do you see as an area in general or in specific where there's going to be rapid innovation in the near future?
Well, that depends on what you kind of consider innovation. I don't expect the Web3 gaming industry to finally solve all the problems that the games have had for the decades now. We should keep in mind that the mainstream gaming industry, as it is, it's not even a century old, right?
Yeah.
So naturally, it will take time for it to resolve all of its issues. But I do think that in certain things like let's say interoperability or ownership, I know I sound like a broken record by now, but it is true, right? So unless business development gets in the way of things, because different game developers or publishers might decide that there is no point in enabling NFTs from other games in their game, because why should they do that, right? So unless this happens, then I do believe Web3 gaming can do some tremendous, some truly groundbreaking things.
I would love to see more with the interoperability in mind. Um, as not necessarily as an opposite to competition, but as a level up for competition.
Mm-hmm.
If I have, you know, five other projects and we're all interoperable, we're all supporting each other to some extent, but then our ecosystem has five projects and is five times more attractive to everybody out there. Or at least that's how I'm choosing to see it.
Oh
It's
yes.
yeah,
I
it
mean, even in the mainstream gaming industry, right? We see whenever this sort of a business development barrier is not a question anymore, some truly beautiful things get born out of that. I mean, look at Fortnite. This is literally a game that lives off like interoperability or like collabs with the adoption to the like the context um, of Fortnite as the game, right? Look at Monster Hunter that had like a crossover event with The Witcher 3. And that was also one of the most innovative things that has happened for both of the games. Beautiful things happen when developers decide to work together without this sort of ringing noise. But what does it bring you? Is it really gonna up our revenues or whatever something? Then yeah, we can create true masterpieces, I would even say, when we work together. Unfortunately, we're still constrained by the business goals sometimes, right? But I believe that for this, we need like a separate sub niche in the industry, if you want to call it, the development for game developers, because like let's say the paraphernalia and infrastructure around this, the mainstream game industry does have this. We are still far off, I would say.
I would tend to agree, and it's interesting. Um, so if I'm taking a look, then again, heading back in the direction of origin stories here, we know how you got into crypto.
Hmm.
Um, what would your observations be on both opportunities for women in crypto and general ease of getting in there or any challenges you've had?
Hmm. I would have to say that what I will tell is probably not going to be like how it 100% goes for everybody else, because I consider myself very lucky,
Hmm.
right? I know how it can be for women in the mainstream gaming industry. And over the last 5 years, particularly, we have heard some very ugly stories. It's unimaginable that it's still happening this day. And I believe that the blockchain industry hasn't really had these sort of outings yet, right? Or these sort of scandals, if you will. But I do feel that on an everyday level, things might still be rough, especially if you're working with people with a lot of reputation, right? People holding a lot of weight. Um, then this you kind of already expect create certain expectations for yourself how to be in this environment. You create a subpar personality around these expectations, and that can be very damaging for your work and how you feel doing it, right? I feel like for me and other female colleagues of mine, this has been a relatively good experience so far. Um, because, I mean, th- I should probably change that thing at a certain point, the content and community, because just recently, well, in all of the communications, I'm being referred to as a head of content and comms. Not something I could imagine happen so fast. It's been like 2.5, not even 2.5 years. Um, so yeah, I would say that I I was not chasing the career ladder, right? But I climbed it. And same goes for my female colleagues. We have one of our front end developers, Liz. That's her first job ever as a developer. She has a background in like in completely different things, but she was given a fair opportunity on par with all of the other applicants, and she got it. Not even as an intern, but like right off the bat, she got the full time offer, and she's been an invaluable team member ever since. Of course, we do work with people of different backgrounds. I mean, not only geographically, right, but people of different kind of upbringing, of different eras, right? We have a little bit of an older personnel as well, but I don't feel like the things they did or the things they say um, that are very detrimental to our feelings as women in the workplace. And whenever things happen, like by things I mean whenever somebody says something like maybe not very uh, female gender inclusive, so to say, everyone is very kind of quick to react to this. Everybody tries their best to make us feel very welcome, like true team members, that you know that we don't have to try twice as hard to get a pat in the back. And I would say that yeah, we really got the golden tickets here. Um, I do know, however, this is not like that for everybody else. But I would say that we should not allow anyone to kind of to inhibit us by planting this idea that we are not as capable or not as visionary as the men in this industry. And if that is what you get in your workplace, then you're better off somewhere else. Trust my examples. There are companies that will value your input, will be very grateful for the work you do, and will treat you with utmost respect.
I would have to agree with all of that. I've had a lucky experience. I've wandered into a workplace that's, you know, there are a few women, and it's nobody ever made it into a thing. So that's, and honestly, that's all I ever want, is for it to not have to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I also recognize that that's not everybody's experience, and I would very much echo what you said. If somebody isn't treating you like an equal without making a huge big deal about it, and is not, if they're not recognizing your worth or giving you a very different idea of who you should be in their space, then it's probably time to look for something better. But
100%.
it's out there.
Definitely. And coming back to our point about the Web3 industry and the gaming part of it in particular developing rapidly, the opportunities they multiply every day.
Hmm.
And we know of many other companies with actually amazing work culture where, you know, like you said, this nobody would even, it would never even come to anybody's mind to make it a thing, right? So yeah, put yourself first, ladies. We know that there is a company out there for you that will treat you like a superstar that you are.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank
Sorry,
you.
gotta stay hydrated.
Oh yeah, it's a thing. Those were great comments. So thank you very much for that. It's come up a lot lately, and it's interesting to get the different insights and perspectives. I know
Absolutely.
not everybody's had the same experience, and so I'm just here to be curious. What was your experience? So thank you for that.
Thank you for your question, because I definitely feel like this is a conversation that we should have, but a conversation that is not only exclusively about righteousness, right? But also about giving people positive examples of how it can be, how it should be, actually.
Absolutely. I think that's as important as anything. I mean, if you've
Yeah.
spent 10 years trying to work your way up some sort of a corporate ladder in a place where you don't feel respected or, like you're being your authentic self, then it's good to have somebody out there saying there are better opportunities and it's okay to go look for them.
Yes, definitely. And sometimes, these opportunities might even find you.
Yep, that happens too.
So, yeah, I feel like for a lot of people, what holds them back is the sense of security. Like, I already have a job and I have had it for X years, whatever. Uh, no, don't listen to this little voice. Absolutely. If you feel like this is a great place, that these are great people, take this leap of faith. This is going to like be 100% better than your current 9 to 5.
I would agree. And honestly, I mean, in this industry, there's nothing that's really certain anyway. So
Oh yeah.
no matter how amazing everything is, it's all a very volatile, uncertain industry. So if you're the least bit suspicious that there might be something better, just go after it. You have
Yep,
less to lose than you think, and
for
all to
sure.
gain.
Oh, that's a golden quote, Jen.
Yep.
You have nothing to lose and all to gain. Exactly. This is how I feel the current Web3 gaming space is. If you're if you play your cards right, if you kind of bet on the right things, if you're passionate, if you're consistent, if you're true to what you're doing, then that's got to be a success.
Yep. I would tend to agree, and something, yeah, the passion and consistency really strike home too. If you find yourself passionate about something, follow that rabbit down the rabbit hole and
Yep,
go with it, because that's,
definitely.
yeah. Um, my dad always told me that the best way to be happy in life is to find what you love and then figure out how to make money at it. I would kind of take that and run with it a little bit more and find what you're passionate with that you're already doing
Hmm.
or have the potential to do that's existing. And if you're passionate about it, there are ways to make an income from it.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Like I would never imagine then that this will become something. Yeah, I would want to do professionally, because I mean, obviously, we as kids, I guess my generation, we all had these naive dreams, right? Watching all sorts of celebrities and whatnot on the TV, or like even MTV anchors. It would be, oh, that would be something cool to do something like that. But back then, already this was a sort of an unreachable notion, because to do something like that, it seemed that you would have to work at MTV. Then that's it. There is like no other alternatives. And now, fast forward 20 years, that's exactly what I'm doing for
Yes,
a company that is disrupting gaming. I mean, get out of here.
that's very much where I'm at. I remember very much being 16 and thinking, "Oh, the metaverse is going to be so awesome." Whenever it finally gets here, and never once thinking that I'm actually going to be involved in it.
Hmm.
So it was a very exciting and very sudden job switch. There was an opportunity, and that was the end of that. So
Yeah, you
yeah,
didn't even have to think twice, really.
no, there wasn't time for thinking twice. It was one of those now or the opportunity is probably missed, and maybe it wouldn't have been. But do I take that chance? No, not with something I love this much.
No, and this is how anyone should feel, I think, about their workplace, whether it's gaming or Web3 or like in general at all.
Absolutely. This has been a ton of fun. I
Oh,
think
yeah,
that I have to run here because I've got another one hot on your heels. But
of
this is
course.
awesome, and we need to get you into the uplift. So if you wouldn't mind sticking
Absolutely.
around for a minute or two, we can talk about that. But in the meantime, to all the lovely people who are watching, look for Olga in the uplift sometime, and hopefully we can jump on another stream at some point and play.
Definitely, I would love that.
That would be fun. Well, thank you very much, and see everybody later. Be
Thank you
back.
for having me, Jen.